Hey, I want to thank everyone who submitted information for the margin analysis. We're working on it and we're going to get back to you very soon. Today, I want to start with a question that I've received for the past decade. The question is, hey, Chris, how many barrels do we need to produce and sell in wholesale to be profitable? There is some misconception out there that if you just make more of something, that you all of a sudden flip a switch and become profitable. Well, what if that thing that you're making is losing you money? If you make more of something that is losing money, we just lose more and more and more money. So the answer to that question is there is no barrel hurdle to overcome before you just become profitable in wholesale, right? This is the reason we are so laser focused on the margin analysis. The margin analysis is intended to give you the information to say, this is working or this is not working, and what decisions do I have to make next? And sometimes those decisions are not easy, but sometimes they are. So now I'm going to go over 3 of the many, many decisions that arise once we present a margin analysis to breweries, right? The first decision is always contract brew, right? You've heard me talk about contract brew over and over again. And while I talk about it, it's not a one size fits all. It is a really specific situation that you've got to analyze. So in a situation where you would not want a contract brew is, let's say you're distributing 20 to 30 barrels a month, you're sending it to key accounts, and the goal really is to drive business back to the tap room. If your production can handle it and your distribution can handle it and it's relatively a light lift, then there's no reason to contract brew, right? You wouldn't want to go enter into an arrangement and have all this inventory come in and so on if you have a calculated approach to wholesale, such as what I just described. Now, if our margin analysis uncovers that you're making some money off one style and probably 2 SKUs within that one style, well, if you're making it and making money, what could someone in your market, in your region, in your area make it for and potentially get you even more money, right? So these are the kind of decisions. This is decision number 1 that we would like look through and be like, hey, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense once we go through the margin analysis. Decision number 2 that we talk about a lot is just getting rid of distribution completely, shutting down our wholesale division. This is a very unpopular statement and a very controversial statement, but we've just got to lay it out. It's got to be an option, right? Getting rid of your wholesale would be a pretty monumental task. And it would also open up about, I don't know, 20 or 30 more questions that you'd have to figure out as far as space, as far as equipment, as far as tanks, as far as all that stuff. So this is one option that once you look over the margin analysis and once you look at your business as a whole, could be a decision that you end up going through, understanding that there's going to be a lot more that comes with that. The third and final option that we're going to talk about today, once you get your margin analysis, is focus. So for the better part of this year, myself, Derek, and Julia have been talking. We have a dedicated talk called Winning in Distribution. And the premise of winning in distribution is all about focus, right? Portfolio focus, sales focus, marketing focus. And when you start talking about focus, you start talking about getting more narrow with the portfolio, getting more narrow in your messaging, getting more narrow on the sales consulting and the sales training, right? And the idea here is, as we go through this shift in what's happening in craft right now, focus is really not a bad thing. We have to consider, 8 styles in distribution really just don't fly anymore. Once again, going from 8 to 4 to ideally 2 styles in distribution is going to take time. It's going to take planning and open up a lot more questions. But I'm kind of giving you a taste of what options you have once you go through this margin analysis exercise and really uncover which are the winners and which are the, I'm going to call your beer losers, but which need some help, right? And look, there's a ton other options. These are the 3 that just came top of mind when I flipped the camera on today. So if you're interested in learning more about your margins, if you're interested in wanting to know your margins and getting into the numbers, click the link below. We'll get it started for you, and then we can have a conversation. Talk to you soon.